This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1048, Prenatal Imprinting, How Pregnancy Can Influence Your Child's Genes, by Guy and Ilan Ferdman of mindbender.co. Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. I am your host and narrator, Greg Audino, ready to bring another parenting post to you before the weekend. So today we'll be hearing from Guy and Ilan Ferdman over at mindbender.co. And if that name doesn't sound familiar, or those names don't sound familiar, it's because you haven't been listening to our other shows enough. Their work is featured a lot throughout the network as they speak to a wide variety of important topics. And today we're going to see what they've got for expecting parents and what they can do to influence their child's genes. Yes, it can be done. Let's learn how and start optimizing your life. Prenatal Imprinting, How Pregnancy Can Influence Your Child's Genes, by Guy and Ilan Ferdman of mindbender.co. Most expectant women are warned that drinking alcohol, smoking, and eating certain foods can have certain consequences for the growth and development of their unborn children. They're also told that certain genetic factors are responsible for determining the destiny of their baby. But there are a few other less commonly known factors that come into play when it comes to an unborn baby's health and well-being, starting with the environment in the womb where prenatal imprinting begins. Not a victim, but a master of genetics. According to the National Human Genome Research Institute, many human diseases have a genetic component. This means that certain diseases can be passed down from grandparents to parents and then to the child through their genes. Say, for example, that your family has a history of diabetes or cancer. Current conventional knowledge states that there is an increased likelihood that you could develop diabetes or cancer too. What many people don't know is that a genetic predisposition isn't necessarily always the final verdict. First of all, genes change hour by hour, meaning that nothing stays constant in the human body. Secondly, before birth, all mothers create environments inside their own bodies that allow their babies to adapt to their surroundings. In other words, genes react to the environment in which we live. In fact, according to Dr. Bruce Lipton, a stem cell biologist and best-selling author of The Biology of Belief, the external environment is interpreted in the mother's nervous system and ultimately controls our genetics and behavior. Genes are just a blueprint. Parents are genetic engineers. Parents are the primary influences when it comes to the fate and development of their children. The role of a parent is more significant than simply to provide nourishment. They help to program the fate of the child. Infants are born with primary genes, but how those genes are expressed is known as epigenetics. Epigenetics, as a simplified definition, is the study of biological mechanisms that can switch genes on and off. What the parents eat, where they live, who they interact with, when they sleep, how they exercise, even aging. All of these can eventually cause chemical modifications to a child's genes that will turn those genes on or off over time. Pregnancy is nature's Head Start program. Conventional medical doctors commonly tell mothers that in order to have a healthy pregnancy, all they need to focus on is eating healthy food, taking supplements, and getting regular exercise. However, there's another crucial piece to the process, and it's called prenatal imprinting. While the fetus is growing in the mother's uterus, chemicals are being released into her bloodstream and passed on to the baby, which affects its growth and development. So, how are these chemicals created? Well, several ways, one of which is directly related to the emotions of the mother-to-be. Prenatal imprinting begins with a pregnant woman's emotional responses to external stimuli that can very quickly cause emotional and behavioral patterns in her unborn baby. For example, if the mother is repeatedly exposed to music that induces stress, then the fetus quickly adopts the pattern of stress. If the mother routinely listens to peaceful, harmonious music, then the unborn child adopts a pattern of peace and harmony. Patterns of behavior can change the genetic activity of the cell and can be imprinted in the child. A mother's blood has nutrients, hormones, emotional chemicals, growth factors, and neurological regulators needed for growing an infant. For example, if a mother has formed a loving relationship with her partner, her brain releases certain chemicals, such as dopamine for pleasure and oxytocin for bonding, both of which create a glow effect so often seen with pregnant women. These chemicals will transfer to the baby and can help build a healthy uterus, as well as contribute to developing the baby's healthy motor reflexes. On the other hand, if the mother is prone to stress, fear, or anger during pregnancy, her brain produces stress hormones that can affect the baby's immune system and also significantly decrease the baby's intelligence. Habits cause change. The moment a baby opens its eyes, he or she is imprinting images of his or her parents. The baby can distinguish whether the parents are happy, angry, or afraid just by looking at their pupils. The pupils of the baby adjust to the pupils of their parents. With just a simple glance at its parents, a baby buries images into its subconscious. The child will eventually grow up and will always label its own actions as good or bad, depending on what it has imprinted onto its subconscious brain. Child imprinting also happens when a baby observes the behavior of others. What the child sees in its environment collectively accumulates in the child's psyche and becomes a habit later on. The choices we make and how we react to situations, circumstances, or events can directly affect the way our bodies and brains release specific chemicals. If you are pregnant, understand that what you feel can also be felt by the infant growing inside of you, and become mindful of prenatal imprinting. You just listened to the post titled, Prenatal Imprinting: How Pregnancy Can Influence Your Child's Genes, by Guy and Ilan Ferdman of mindbender.co. And friends, if you're carrying a credit balance month after month, you know it can feel like you're in a never-ending cycle of debt. But there's good news. Our new partner, Upstart, can help you make that final payment so you can get ahead. They're the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan, all online. And Upstart knows you're more than just your credit score, and because of that, they're expanding access to affordable credit. See, unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan. After just a 5-minute rate check, that's even quicker than an episode of ORD, mind you, you can see your rate up front for loans between $1,000 and $50,000. So, find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/ORD. That's upstart.com/ORD. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Again, go to upstart.com/ORD. And wow, so many great pieces of information in this post. Thanks a lot to Guy and Ilan for letting us read from it today. During pregnancy, it's so easy to focus exclusively on our external, tangible environments, such as preparing the house and getting finances in order. And this is wonderful. But with it comes a lot of stress. And as always, that stress has to be paid attention to. See, our inner environment, while not palpable, plays a massive role in how both we and our babies-to-be will handle conflict and other challenges. So, if you're expecting a baby, talk with your partner about how emotional preparation can now be integrated into your routine, both now and how to manage it after the baby is born. It's as good a time as any to start readying oneself for and prioritizing the emotional nurturing of the baby, which is something we often overlook, unfortunately, because again, it can't be measured. And that will bring us to the end, everyone. Really appreciate you joining today for this post. And actually, tomorrow's Q&A will feature another question that has to do with parenting and how we can better raise boys. To me, this is a subject of utmost importance, so I hope you'll stop in for that one and check it out. That's where your optimal life awaits.